We do not have them here, but they really, the Swiss embassy, I'm sorry, not Swedish, Swiss. Swiss? Those things are almost one and the same. So they are the major sponsors this year, and they really came in handy to help us. Don't mind my spelling of Swiss or whatever. So having said that, we have a whole team of former organizing committee members of all Kenyans, starting from Charles and Timothy, who are still coming back to be judges and also to give moral support to the teams. You can also stand, all the former students of KU who are part of the committee. You can also clap for them. So these people have really done a lot, because much as that they did their part and left, they still want to see the people behind succeed. Rarely do you see that in Africa. Especially in the leadership, you'll always want to have somebody who's coming after you to fail terribly. So, but these people are selfless. It's because this mood helps shape people, and it has really done that. We can have the example of Timothy, who is now the current president at KSL. So he started from here. Besides, besides that, he's also here in a different capacity. He's representing IJM, who are also part of the sponsoring group. So that shows that much as he was here and he has already gone out of the place, he still wants the mood to succeed, and he brings in the people to sponsor. Besides, he has also benefited from them, because I think the first contact they have with the IJM was from here. So that's how he ended up there. So this mood is helping in a lot of different ways. Besides that, we have other people who have been attached in different places, in different organizations of sponsorship. So that is what we look forward to from the team of sponsors, that you will always avail opportunities to these people, these very bright students of the Kenyan legal fraternity. And that's what the founders of All Kenyan were anticipating, and we are really doing that. As the KU fraternity, we are happy to host. We're always happy to host, because when you have a ceremony and the guests don't come, then it means either you are a mean person or people don't want to be associated with you. But we are lucky that we know that particular caliber of people, because when we invite people, they come. Can you clap for all the teams that came? I think we have a team from Kisii. Is Kisii around? Kisii group. I think I saw them, maybe they left. Jaikwat Karen. Any team? Stand up, please. Clap for them. We do have a team from Queer. Do we have Queer? Of course, Queer didn't show up. Nazarene. Where is the Nazarene team? Stand up, please. It's a whole group, and our brothers across Nairobi University School of Law. Do we have anyone? Of course. MKU. Do we have MKU? KU, I think, didn't show up this time. Which other team do we have? Moi. People from Eldoret. Clap for them. Strathmore. Anybody from Strathmore? Yes, we have the Strathmore people. Strathmore have taken the cue from us, and they have started an extractive mood which is growing really fast. So we hope that it...
So this is a little bit off the cuff, and now you guys get to judge me. So it has been a singular honor to be invited, first of all, to be here. Thank you very much. And to have this opportunity to listen, to participate to all of these brilliant young minds. You know, I've participated in moots through my career. As a law student, I mooted. I've coached moot teams. And now I've been a judge, and I will confess, this morning I admitted to my family it's a little intimidating to know that all of these people are smarter than me. But thank goodness they don't know that. Anyway, now I've told you. But that's what I want to say, in fact, about mooting and about litigating and the practice of law, is that what you need to keep in mind when you're standing in front of a judge is that you have worked so hard. You've done so much research, you've done so much preparation, you know these issues inside and out, and you know them better than the panel, you know them better than the judge. And so what I saw today was that in practice. You proved that to me. Yes? I saw amazing preparation, really very good oral argument. We were very tough. We were very tough, and you ran with it. Yeah? So huge props to that. Yeah, congratulations, and thank you. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from you. So thank you. I've also been asked to speak a little bit about business and human rights, which is my sort of area of expertise in terms of all of my academia research, that sort of thing. Human rights can be a bit of a nebulous concept. Yes, it's a little bit difficult to wrap your mind around, but we call them fundamental for a reason, right? They are fundamental because they affect our everyday lives in every aspect of our lives, and every person, is affected. Corporations, businesses are affected, and so human rights are really, in my opinion, maybe this is just my opinion anyway, very, very key to both to the practice of law, because they're sort of infused in all areas of practice. It's something that needs to sort of be at the back of our mind. And businesses, we talk about bottom line, but thank goodness, I think the world is moving forward. We're progressing to a point where we realize that in fact we shouldn't be balancing or in the balance of let's say the right to development or human rights. We really need to focus on how human rights are fundamental, how people's lives really are affected. And we're a global society. We want to take care of our brothers and sisters. The idea that everyone should have the same opportunity to succeed, it should infuse all areas of law, areas of practice, and the world out there, business. So I think I'm going to stop at that point. But again, thank you very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your brilliant legal minds. I have great faith and excitement about the future of the legal practice in Kenya because of what I've seen here in the last few days. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I see we've been joined by Miss Emily from Kenya Law. Karibu sana. Up next to speak is Mr. Mugambi Mojave.
Good afternoon. I know you expect me to say a lot, but I'm a person of few words. And I'll keep it that way. Number one, let me speak about the theme of the moot in a minute or two. The theme of the moot is business and human rights. I had another aspect that I was telling my colleagues on the first day when the conference was being held that no one was speaking about. And I thought it was very important. It's because it's affecting Kenya now. And that is what the now infamous Daw Aung San Suu Kyi was speaking about in Oxford. And that was democracy-friendly investment, especially in where? In Africa. The investments that are being made in Africa are not democracy what? Friendly. A country comes, tells you, will give you a loan of $2 billion US dollars, but for the human rights infringements you'll make, will not bother. Will look the other way. That's number one. Number two, the collaterals that these loans are attached to are our airports, our ports, strategic mainstream systems or institutions our governments or our leaders are pledging as what? As collateral. Which begs my last question, or my last thinking on democracy-friendly investment, is whether the traditional concept of territorial sovereignty still exists. What happens when another country takes control of a major port in your country? Can you defend yourself? Have they interfered with your territorial sovereignty at that point? These are modern and current questions we and you in the academia need to address. We are together. That is my thought or my thinking when it comes to business and human rights. Because our neighbors, you know them, are facing the same problems. We are facing the same problem as a country. So we should think in that angle, that aspect. Number 2 is a request. I am not a religious person. I am not a prophet. I'm not a Jewish prophet, neither am I the son of one. But I will want you to pray for Kenya. Very important. I was riding to the Law Society of Kenya using a boda boda last week to go and pick my practicing certificate, and the boda boda guy realized that my dressing did not accord to normal human persons in Nairobi. And so he asked me, pia we ni wa huko? Kawambia wapi huko? Say, Law Society? Say, yes. Please tell them one thing, we're having an AGM soon. So I want to tell the lawyers soon. This boda boda told me this and said, please, kusoma sheria, reading about the law, studying about the law is a privilege. That's what he said in Swahili now. It's a privilege. We're together. Number 1. Number 2, he said, it's God ordained. And number 3, lawyers, please help us. That's what he said. Lawyers, please do what? Help us. A boda boda rider saying that. That is my message to you. As you're praying for Kenya, as lawyers in your own private circles, in your own public spheres of influences, please pray and help what? Kenya. We need your help. All of us, whether you are a student lawyer, whether you are a practitioner, we need your help. Kenya needs your help. Number 3, second lastly, on the participation of the competition. I know most of you are expecting a number of questions. We asked only a few questions, as and where it was necessary. Having said that, sometimes it is important for you to take a step back and listen to the question. Just listen to the question. Most of the time, the question is giving you direction towards a particular area that you need to work on. Number 2, on the mooting aspect, when we're asking you about jurisdiction, there's something we were discussing among us judges as to whether this matter belongs to the Constitution and Human Rights Division or the Environment and Land Court. You can argue both ways. For a policy maker, they will tell you that for a matter that is exclusively environment and land, but has constitutional issues that anchor on it, it is safer to take them where? To the Environment and Land Court, because there's no express provision that prohibits the Environment and Land Court to enforcing what? The Bill of Rights. That is a legal understanding of it all. But for someone else to tell you, no, these matters are correlated. This is a hybrid matter. So it is safer for us to take it to the Constitution and human rights. But for the policymaker, they will tell you, so as for us to stop the forum chasers, people who specifically go to specific courts, they tailor their pleadings and their arguments in a particular way so that they can go to a specific judge who they know they can get those particular what? Orders from. You understand? So as to avoid forum shopping. Lawyers usually do it all the time. But to avoid those litigious kind of people. So you end up having a specialized what? Court for that. So it could have gone either way for you, depending on how you'll have argued. It's just that most of you as oralists did not expect that question to come up. Like, we're in the right court. What else? I mean, what do you mean we don't have jurisdiction? So most of you were caught by surprise. But what I liked about is that as the competition was progressing, you guys were picking up. And when it came to jurisdiction, you were able to discharge your burden when it came to explaining about what? About jurisdiction. Number 3, demeanor. Demeanor in the mode of standing, in the mode, specifically facial expressions. There was one gentleman who I will not mention by name. I was pleased with his facial expression. He was not crying, he was not laughing, he was not angry. The questions were coming, he kept taking them. He maintained not a straight face, but a face of a litigant who's saying, this is not my case, this is my client's what? The client's case. But either way, I have a duty to discharge what? My legal obligation. He disassociated from his facial expression, he disassociated himself from what? From the client. And made those two things what? Separate. So when Haman and Bush will remind you or tell you that for us you're usually reminded it's not our what? Our case. It's the client's what? Client's case. Reverse. Most of you had that problem. When we asked you 3 questions at a go, you became so angry, so mad. You're looking like, can you please hold on to the question? Some of you are actually saying, no, please, judge, let me finish what I'm saying. And then you ask. Which brings me to my last point. The most important aspect of mooting that will help you also in real life litigation is not about the very big and correct points you put across. It's what? Persuasion. Are you able to persuade the judge? Are you able to persuade the what? The bench. Whether your arguments are flawed or not, that is something that will be subject to appeal. That is something else. But are you able to persuade the what? The bench. So don't be in a hurry to finish your what? Your arguments. The questions they have asked you, if you can satisfy them on those questions, you can say, my lords, my ladies, I'm done. And you sit down. Because they are satisfied. They're saying, it's okay. This person has been able to discharge their what? Their duty towards answering us. So that should be the primary goal of everything else. As I close, there is a story I like to give every time. I went for an international moot court competition called JESAP. And you know how JESAP is tedious. You have sessions from morning until night, one after the other, back to back. And the 3 judges who were there was a Dominican Republican judge, a Russian judge, and a judge from the great state of Texas. The judge from the great state of Texas pulled her chair, looked outside the what? The window. The Dominican Republican judge and the Russian judge looked at me while I was what? Submitting. I had 2 options. 1, to cry. 2, stop, tell them, please tell her to listen to me. And the other option was just, I continue what? Submitting, without selling off that I'm annoyed. You understand? That I'm annoyed that the color of my skin makes her so uncomfortable that she does not want to do what? To listen to me. But because the American society, they are the LSK equivalent, awards them points, CPD points, to be in this competition, she has to be where? She has to be there. And listen to what? To me. So never allow your demeanor to make you lose your case. You understand? It is very key. It is very important. Thank you very much. God bless you. And remember, pray what? For Kenya. Very important.
Thank you very much for your words, Mr. Mugambi. We'll have Mr. Collins Wanjala from Gerio Miti and Bush Advocates at this point.
I hope everyone can see me from this position. In my firm, there is a case we are handling currently. We are challenging the inclusion of our client's name in the Ndungu land report. I don't know if everyone here has heard about the Ndungu land report. It's a report dealing with illegal acquisition of land and allocation of land. Now, the case for us, we've filed it before the High Court, Constitutional and Human Rights Division. The Attorney General has a different view, thinks this is an issue touching on land, and therefore it should be before the Environment and Land Court. Arguments both sides. We strongly believe that this is a matter that is firmly in situ in terms of the court in which we have filed. Reason being that we are not challenging ownership of land, but we are challenging the right to a fair hearing, that our clients were not heard before the report was published. Numerous authorities, the other side has also brought numerous authorities. We have given our respective arguments. We strongly believe that we will win the case. The other side strongly believes they will win the case. But that is how trial advocacy is. You must prepare very well. You must present your case in a very articulate manner, and you must, no matter what, try to persuade the judge. And that's what I was looking at when I was judging today. My name is Bush Wanjala. I'm the managing partner of Ngeri Omiti and Bush Advocates LLP. We are proud sponsors, part of the sponsors of this competition this year. This is my second time to participate. We did that sometime in 2017, I believe, and I've seen tremendous growth in the competition, the quality of research that has been done, the quality of arguments that have been presented, and I am proud of what I've seen today. There are a few things that I saw that I think it's important. Whatever you are doing is the basics of trial advocacy. And I was telling my colleagues that there's a time I went before the Court of Appeal, and the kind of arguments and the kind of setup today was that of the Court of Appeal and not even the High Court. And you will realize that when you appear before the judges, they tend to have read your entire documentation. So they know your weak points and they know your strong points, and sometimes they will not want to listen to you ramble on about the issues despite your preparation. So they will point you towards a certain area through their questions, and you must be bright enough to recognize that that is where you need to win your case. And you must then be able to listen very keenly, present your arguments very precisely and concisely, and win your case. So you shouldn't find it very difficult to address that issue, because what you had prepared on is a different issue. So that is very fundamental as you go on mooting. I know that for those people who are, who wish to go into being practitioners, this is a very important exercise to prepare you for the future, because what you go through, the emotions that you go through, the preparation, which is key for a trial advocate, is what you will still go through when you start practicing. So that don't take this competition for granted, because it's very important. And as I finalize, I think for me, I would like to appreciate the enthusiasm that I saw today. Today was my first time for the 7th edition as a judge, and I saw resolve, I saw stamina, and I saw dedication, and that I think really made me proud. The question that was put to the participants is very important. I'm a commercial advocate. Find that whatever you were discussing today will form a very important aspect of the due diligence. So with those very, very few remarks, I beg to say thank you for the invitation that you extended to us as a law firm, and to me as an individual, and I hope to be here next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this point, I hope, Ms. Emily, you've had a few minutes to breathe. So I invite Ms. Emily Nakungu from Kenya Law.
Thank you, MC. Sorry for that. Good evening. Proud sponsors, thank you very much for being part of this journey. First of all, I'd like all of us, pat the person you're sitting with at the back and tell them, good job. Timothy, I can see you. Second, clap for yourselves. I think there's a reason why we have a very large number of people in parliament being lawyers. And most of them can tell you they started from here. So this is very good of you to participate in this competition. And this is a journey that will take you miles. And I'm sure one day we'll be talking about Timothy as the president of this country. Hallelujah. So what I'm trying to say is that it starts from such humble beginnings, and you have done well for yourselves. Congratulations. My name is Emily Nahungu. I am representing the National Council for Law Reporting, otherwise known as Kenya Law. I think this is the website which all of you use. If anyone in this room has never used Kenya Law, so we strive very hard to ensure that case law is on point. The laws of Kenya are available online, and we are currently at about 93% laws being updated. So we are very proud to be associated with the All Kenyan Moot Court competition. We have been with you since the beginning, and I remember when we were beginning, I think we were the only sponsors, or there were just 2 sponsors, I believe. And I was looking at the caliber of sponsors in this particular competition, and I said that the organizers have done well. People are seeing your work, and I can assure you that 5 years to come, this will be the place to be. Every sponsor will be looking for an opportunity to be part of the All Kenyan Moot Court competition. We were given the opportunity to be judges in the research category. Unfortunately, the judges were not able to be here today. I am representing them, and I won't say much. A lot has been said about what you need to improve on, but they sent me with one issue. The research papers for last year seemed to be better than the ones for this year. We had promised as an institution that the best research papers will be featured in our law review journal and on our website. But in the last 4 years, when we request for those papers, we are told they have not really met the criteria. So this is something that we need to improve on. I can see your faces. I'm not saying you did not do well. You did your best. But we need to improve on our persuasion. The theme for this year was very practical. It hit closer home, business and human rights. This is something that is happening every day. So when we are doing our research, let's bring in practical examples that will be able to persuade the judges. Another issue that they had with were on references and citations. Tell us where you get your information from. Otherwise, we'll term it as plagiarism. So those are the 2 things that they wanted us to pass across. And finally, from the editor and CEO of Kenya Law, he has promised that he will hold All Kenyan Moot Court very close to his heart. And the organizers, be assured that next year we'll be with you, the year after. And we wish you well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the 8th edition committee, I was taking keen note of that. So finally, up next to speak is Ms. Aki Nasanga from Kenya Human Rights Commission.
Habari zenu. Kwa majina ninaitwa Nasanga Aki. ninafanya kazi na tume ya kutetea haki za kibinadamu almaarufu Kenya Human Rights Commission. Na nimefurahi sana siku ya leo kukua hapa, and that's the match. That's the much Kiswahili I will get to speak. But at the Kenya Human Rights Commission, I work under the Business and Human Rights Department. And my work is both as a project implementer and an advocate. I must say I am very, very happy of the preparations that have gone into it, both into this competition, both by the participants and the committee that was organizing this. From the participants, we saw very, very great levels of research and very good presentations, I must say. And I will just repeat what Herman said. I was shocked to know that some of the participants were first years. You know, at first year, I basically knew social foundations of law and contract law. I didn't know much about international law, but to see first years presenting with so much conviction, citing international law, you know, getting to discuss seriously and ably matters business and human rights, it was very, very impressive. I remember sometime in the last quarter of last year, I had just come from Kwale, where we were doing a human rights impact assessment of the operations of some company that is mining in Kwale County. Basically, we wanted to establish how the operations of that company had impacted either positively or negatively on the host community. And human rights impact assessments usually entail interviews with the different stakeholders, both the community members, officials of the county, officials of the company. So, and it also involves visiting sites where maybe host communities are saying that they have been negatively impacted. And I came back to the office and I remember thinking to myself, there's something that is missing somewhere. There is some intervention that we can do, because there was really, really gross violation that had taken place. But I couldn't quite point out what intervention we could do. I had reached, my mind had reached a block. I didn't know what we were supposed to do. Coincidentally, I checked my emails and I saw an email from Nicole with the proposal for the 7th edition for the moot court. And I remember it was something surrounding land evictions. And I thought this would be a very, very good opportunity to introduce matters business and human rights, you know, as a moot question, so that I can come and mine information from the students' minds. And I'm so happy the organizing committee was able to consider the topic of business and human rights and have it as the theme for this year. Unfortunately, I did not get to draft the question because I had other engagements, but I wish I could have had an opportunity to draft the question. But it was a very good question because it brought the fundamentals of matters business and human rights, because we saw issues of communities getting to give free and informed consent coming up. We saw matters social license by the community coming up, matters environmental impact assessment, compulsory acquisition of land. All those things were brought out. So I would commend whoever drafted the question. So other than my selfish interest of mining information and knowledge from the students, my thinking was business and human rights, or mining generally, is something that is it's fast growing in our country. If you look at Vision 2030, the midterm plan, number 2, it recognizes mining as a key economic driver for the economy. Yeah, we see there's mining in Kwale County, Turkana is mining, in Ukambani there is mining of coal, Lamu there is mining, yeah. And yet in our curriculum, we don't have business and human rights being taught. Yeah, so there is a gap somewhere. There is a deficit in experts in business and human rights matters. So I thought it would be a very, very good opportunity to evoke interest among the students so that they can be able to pursue, to gain interest to pursue matters, business and human rights, so that they can help the community members, both in terms of representation when it comes to matters litigation, and also awareness creation, because you understand, as advocates, we have a duty to the public. So it would be very, very important if we take up that role to create awareness to the community about their rights, yeah, and also probably protect them, because there are some agreements that are usually made between the community and the mining company, and most of the community members, unfortunately, they are usually illiterate or lack information about mining matters. So the corporations yield so much power, and most of the time they work in cahoots with the government, and they get to draft very unconscionable agreements, and even the manner in which they administer the agreements is also very, very unconscionable. So I thought that would be very, very important. And even for the companies, those who would get to work with the companies, they will be able to infuse human rights-based approaches in the operations of the county, so that we do not, of the company, so that we do not have a crisis, yeah, in the coming future, in the near future. And just to reiterate my pride and, being very, very impressive, I cannot wait to share the video recording of this together with my colleagues at the Economic and Social Rights Network, Strategic Litigation Working Group, when we meet sometime in June in Mongolia. I am very, very proud. We have taken steps to the extent that we are mooting matters, business and human rights. I cannot wait for that. And now, speaking on behalf of Kenya Human Rights Commission, we are very, very happy to partner with you. I think this is the second time that we are partnering with you. We partnered with you last year, and this year again. And I think it's in line with our mandate, because we want to see, or to create a base of academic human rights, an academic human rights network, yeah. And I think already we are, from the participants, we would already get to pick a few people to join that network. And we not only want to partner with Kenyatta University, we also want to foster partnerships with other universities. So we have opened our doors, and we hope that very soon we will get requests for partnership. And it's not only in matters moot court competition. We would wish to partner with you in other ways. We have a very active legal aid clinic. I think we partner with Nairobi University and JKUAT, but we would also wish to partner with other universities. And what else do I say? I am very, very grateful that you invited us, and we hope to partner and probably meet next year in the 8th edition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we shall move to the next segment of this closing ceremony, which is acknowledgements and awards. I'm sure very many of you are waiting for this. And well, first off, we'll start with, the people who made this competition, happen. And I'm not talking about the committee, but the sponsors for the 7th edition of the All Kenyan Moot Court competition. We were blessed to have quite a good number of sponsors this year. We knocked doors. Most people were very receptive and warm, and they gave us, what they gave us, and we're really grateful for that. And even to those who didn't give us what they gave us, whatever we wanted, we're still grateful that they listened to us, and hopefully it was a way to open doors for the 8th and subsequent editions of the All Kenya Moot Court competition. So first off, our major sponsor, they're not here today, but then I'd still wish to give them a shout out, and I'm sure this is live, so they can watch it sometime. And we have some tokens of appreciation for all sponsors. For those who are not here, we shall deliver the tokens to them, and for those who are here, they will be received by the representatives from these institutions. So first off is the Embassy of Switzerland. They are not here today, but then they were our major sponsors this edition, and we are very, very grateful to the Embassy of Switzerland. It was, it really happened, as just a trial kind of thing. Barasa just sent the president of All Kenya Moot Court Competition, Emmanuel Barasa, really loves Switzerland. I think if he didn't live in Kenya, he'd live in Switzerland. So, out of, just trying, he sent an email to the Swiss embassy, and they forwarded it to the, right department, and yeah, the response was positive. We had a few meetings, and here we are. And we are very, very grateful to the Embassy of Switzerland, the ambassador who was here for the opening ceremony, and their plaque will be delivered to the embassy in due time. If you can, yeah. Our next or second sponsor is the Kenya Human Rights Commission. It is duly represented here by Ms. Aki Nasanga today, who has been here since Thursday. She was here for the conference. She was here yesterday as a judge, and she was here today. She's here again today as a judge. We're very, very, very grateful to the Kenya Human Rights Commission. Ms. Aki already said, when Nicole sent the concept, on behalf of the committee to her, and she gave us insights on what we could think about and areas we could want to talk about, and it was very, very instrumental. And their support did not just end at that. They did support a few budget items in our budget, and we were very, 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 very grateful. And I would request at this point Mr. Gibson Gisore, the Moot Coordinator at Kenyatta University School of Law, to assist us in awarding, or rather passing our appreciation to Kenya Human Rights Commission. Thank you so much. Ms. Aki, please send our appreciation to the office once you get back next week. Next is the Kenya Law. Kenya Law is a very important sponsor of ours. They are pretty much one of the very first people who came on board this edition. They were very, very supportive. They were the main research judges yesterday. All three of them came from Kenya Law, and they also assisted with the research papers. And we are very, very grateful to Kenya Law. It's very important that, something as important as Kenya Law, which is very instrumental to every law student, comes on board on such a thing to, support moots and all kinds of endeavors in law school. So Kenya Law is represented here by Ms. Emily Nakungu, who spoke. And at this point, I would like to ask or invite Dr. Kabata to come and help us pass our appreciation to Kenya Law. Thank you very much. And I am very sure the 8th edition and the 8th edition committee and other subsequent editions have heard that Kenya Law is very much willing to support us, and they'll be knocking on your doors next year and the year after that. Thank you very much. Next up is Kaplan and Stratton. Well, Kaplan and Stratton are not represented here today, but then they were very supportive in making this edition of All Kenyan Moot Court Competition happen, and just a round of applause to Kaplan and Stratton. Our next sponsor was Talo Oil Limited. Talo were also one of our very good sponsors this year. I'm sure everyone who came on Thursday received a Talo notebook, and yeah, that was their contribution to you from them, and they also supported us in other ways, and we're very grateful. They're not here today, but then they were represented here yesterday. There's a judge, Miss Evelyn Mwangi, who sat from Talo Oil, and on Thursday we had one panelist. He was here, but then he didn't get to speak during the panel discussion, the second panel discussion, because he had to leave, and we are very, very grateful for them. So since no one is here to grab their, token of appreciation, just give them a round of applause. Next is Ngeri, Omiti, and Bush advocates. They are very well represented here. They have been very well represented since Thursday, yesterday, and today. And we are very, very, very grateful to Ngeri, Omiti, and Bush advocates for supporting law students and for supporting our cause. And I will also say what they told us in a meeting we had with them, that they're very much willing to support All Kenyan Moot Court competition in subsequent editions. And yeah, the committee will be knocking on your doors next year. Yeah, so to pass our token of appreciation to NOB advocates, I'll ask the former president of All Kenya Moot Court competition, Timothy Thondu, to do us the honors. Last but not least, this is a very important partner in the All Kenyan Moot Court competition, and it is Kenyatta University. Without Kenyatta University, I believe none of us would be here today talking about business and human rights. They've given us the space to, hold these important discussions, and we are very, very grateful to our school, Kenyatta University. Kenyatta University today is not represented by the administration. We couldn't get the VC or the DVC or the Dean because they're all out of town. But I will ask Dr. Kabata to come and receive the plaque for Kenyatta University. And to issue this award, I'll ask AKMCC alumnus Charles Kimani to do us the honors. Thank you very much. Well, that's it for the sponsors. Up next, there's a group of people that we would really, really, really love to acknowledge and thank. These are individuals that have really, really supported All Kenyan and have really supported the committee. They would respond to calls and emails, and they were there for us in any way that we asked them to be. They, even when we sent emails very late and we needed a response, then and then, they were there to give us guidance and that. And I would like to mention them or give very special mentions to them at this point. So first we have Mr. Mojave Mugambi. You all know him. I'm sure all of you have sat in his court before. He is a very instrumental person in AKMCC. When we send out, invitations to judges to come and judge in the AKMCC, he is, one of the very first persons to respond, and it's, always positive, and we are very, very grateful to you, Mr. Mojave. So at this point, I will ask, Miss Dorcas Endo. I will ask Nicole to do the honors. Up next, Mr. Patrick Nzomo. I will ask Milton. Yeah, on the issue of first years being very, working in moods and all, Milton is a first year and he's a member of the AKMCC committee. Yes, and he has been he's a very, very instrumental member of the committee. We have Ms. Saweria Mwangi. To pass our appreciation to Saweria, I will ask last KU alumni, AKMCC alumni. These guys, they're not in Kenyatta University anymore. They're not part of the All Kenyan Competition Committee anymore. But then they have been very, very helpful. They always, offer to, give us support at any time. We need memorials marked. They are there. We need, inquiries with, whatever it is, concept notes, compromise, everything. They're always there, and we really, 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 really appreciate you guys, and for showing us what the All Kenyan spirit is. And we hope that us guys, when we leave, we will pick it up from there, and the guys who will come after us will continue to uphold the All Kenyan spirit. There is one person that I forgot to give a very special mention to. He was supposed to be here today, but then he couldn't because he had some last-minute issues. He was supposed to judge in the final bench, but then he couldn't come. That is Mr. Bata Emanuel. Mr. Bata Emanuel has been, great in, supporting us from the very beginning. When we drafted our compromise, we, of course, needed expert advice on, and, expert help from someone who is really an expert in business and human rights and all that. And we sent our compromise to him. He's a very busy man. He's a principal state counsel at the Office of the Attorney General. But he took time on a weekend, I believe, to work on that compromise and sent us back a very fine-tuned compromise that we shared with all of you. And I really hope it was, when we asked for, participants to send, any concerns and, clarifications they have on the compromise, we did not receive any. And it just goes to show, the kind of great work that he did and the, amount of support he accorded us. And we have a special gift for him, and we'll deliver it to him in his office. We have, I have very many people on this list, and I see some of them are not here. So I will just call out their names. If you can pick it up for them, please do at the end of the closing ceremony. We have Mr. Christian, Mr. Christian Ateka and Ms. Nasike Robai. Will have Ms. Emily pick them up because they are her colleagues. So kindly, I'll ask Mr. Gisore to kindly do us the honors again. Yes. So we have Mr. Matthew Muinde, Ms. Glory Kendi, Mr. Frank Githumbi, Ms. Caroline Kaunda, Ms. Cindy Amuka, Ms. Nelly Jerobon, Ms. Catherine Cahill. And for this one, I'll just ask Dr. Kabata to, accept it on behalf of Professor Tomash Milei. I'll ask Timothy Thondu. Okay, before we move to awarding the various categories in the bailiffs were very, very instrumental this edition, not only in the courtrooms, but we borrowed that word bailiff to use it, to get help outside the court. They were very helpful in so many ways. I can't even begin to thank you guys enough, because on behalf of the committee and on my personal behalf, because I was directly in charge of you guys, thank you so much for, responding to my texts at 11 p.m. I tell you guys be here at 6:45 a.m. and you're here at 6:45 a.m. Thank you for that commitment. And, without you, without you, AKMCC 7th edition would not have been what it is. So thank you very much. Before I move to the committee, there is one person that I see here. He has been in charge of most, if not all, the artwork that AKMCC has done this edition. We could not have done without him because in our committee, none of us had, that knowledge or expertise of, art and all that. So, whatever he said was, yeah, that's okay. If you think it's fine, then, okay, it looks good. Because, we don't know what's, the size of a logo, Nabana, or all that. But then, he was very instrumental. We were with him here for meetings, sometimes till 8 p.m., and he comes from far. We would like to thank him so much. Lloyd Washira. He is an alumnus of KU, and I would actually like him to come forward and receive a gift back. I will ask Nicole Koske to hand it to Lloyd. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Okay, finally, Mr. Gisore thanked the committee. In Barasa's speech that I will read later, there is, a lot of praise for the committee, but I also want to acknowledge them at this point. All members of the AKMCC 7th edition committee, please stand up. We have Michael, we have Abby, we have Rispa. Oh, please come to the front. I need to introduce you guys properly. Yeah, and this is not everyone. From my left, we have Michael, we have Abigail, we have Rispa, we have Prince, we have Bilha, we have Nicole, we have Suheila, we have Albert, we have Milton. There is Janet Njambi and Beatrice Ngunyi who are representing us in France, in Amut, and they're all very instrumental members of the committee. This committee, without all these people, the 7th edition would not have been what it is. We started working last year, up until today, we're still working. Some days were longer than others. The days we left at, we finished meetings at 4 p.m. There are times we finished meetings at 9 p.m. The whole of this week we've been staying up. I don't think anyone has slept before midnight. And I don't think anyone has woken up later than 4:30 or 5 a.m. They've done such a huge job in making this committee, in making this edition successful. And I didn't think it would be nice to acknowledge everyone and not acknowledge these special people. So a round of applause for them. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so we are on to awarding the participants of the moot competition. So we will start with the research category, and at this moment I'd like to invite Miss Emily Nakungu, who will read out the results from research.
Well, I don't know whether to start from. For the research category, the presentations were being marked out of 30. That is the oral presentation. The research paper was out of 70. At number 3, we have code 306. Code 306. At number 2, we have 208. Code 208. At number 1, this team had the best research paper overall with a mark of 72 out of 70. Sorry. Good students, very good students, 62 out of 70. And the same team had the best oral presentation of 26.55 out of 30. And the best research team goes to (204). So the best researcher was Florence, Brazil. So the awards, please. So code number 3.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we shall next award the best oralist in the 7th edition of the AKMCC. I will ask Miss Aki Nasanga to come and award Derek Kimani from Team 209. We have a Best Overall Award, and this award is sponsored by Ngeri Omiti and Bush Advocates, and clap for them. And this award goes to John Mushina of Team 108. I will ask the managing partner of NOB Advocates, Mr. Collins Wanjala, to pass this award to him. Okay, so I will call Mr. Mojave Mugambi, the presiding judge of the finals, to come and announce to you the second runners-up, the first runners-up, and the best team of the AKMCC 7th edition.
Good afternoon or good evening once more. This is supposed to be a difficult task, but it is not. I hope some of you will be prosecutors and you find me representing the accused. You will not punish the accused as a result of me announcing these particular items. Number 3, team number 3, or I'm told it's called the second runners up, is team 108. I will request Queen's Counsel Sir Herman Omiti to come and present the award. Please give them a clap. At least smile for the photo. It's important. Look at the camera. It's very important. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations. Now you want to take a photo, all of you? That's okay. Oh, there's another one. Now you can look at the photo while you are. Congratulations once more for that. The final rounds, I don't know whether I should say the decision was unanimous or we had a split vote, so that you start asking who's the split vote. Hey, I saw him talking to so and so, there must be some money exchanged hands. No. Team number 2, which were is it called the first runners up? You want me to announce? Team 107. Team 107 had 75.1 marks. You did well in the face of adversity, which was very important. I was sharing with my colleagues that they should revisit the archives of the US Supreme Court, where you have your written submissions, but the justices do not want to concentrate on that. They have particular issues they want you to address. So most of the time, listen to the judges. But congratulations for the performance. I will invite, I will invite Mr. Bush to come and present the award. Please smile for the camera, it's very important. Please clap for them, even if you are the losing team. Yeah. Now you can receive the placard, take a photo, look at the camera, it's very important. Look at the camera, all of you, yes, like that. Very important. They are not the best team. It just happens that judges are of the view that some of the substantive arguments they presented made some, not all, some logical sense. And as a result of that, you arrive at a conclusion that since it made some logical sense, let us, they carry the day. When you go to the training of prosecutors at the Kenya School of Government, one of the facilitators is our very own Elisha Ongoya. He usually starts off those lectures by talking about the investigations of the tribunal of the late Robert Ouko. And one of the former chief government pathologists was giving his testimony. And Mr. Ongoya talks about it in the context of logical thinking. He says that the former chief government pathologist told the tribunal that in his medical opinion, in his intelligence, he thinks Robert Ouko did the following things. One, shot himself in the head, then poured acid on himself. That's one. Two, he says he suspects Robert Ouko poured acid on himself, then he shot himself in the head. Do those make logical sense? No, that's the art of mooting, that you need to make what? Logical sense. The best team is Team 204 with 84.8. Congratulations. You did slightly well. You did slightly well, so don't feel so good, but you did slightly well. And for that, we appreciate you. We celebrate you. Your colleagues also celebrate you and say a hearty congratulations. And I will invite Miss Virginia to come and present the award to you. And we have some medals and some placards. So look at the camera, smile your parents so that they see you do something very important at university. Please look at the camera. This brother of mine, from another mother and father, is the one I told you he was maintaining that face. Congratulations. You can now receive also the placard. You smile, look at the camera, very important. You tell your children you did important things while in campus. Very important. Yeah. Congratulations once more. Since I have discharged my mandate as required by the committee, I would like to state the following things in closing. Just two. One, next year, is the next president, or is he here? No, not the current one, the next one. They are here. They are here. Can I? Oh, you don't want to say, oh, it's an election thing, so it's already arranged. Okay. I'm told just like in our neighboring Republic of Kenya, presidents are known before elections. So there's no need to disclose to say who it is. But in that context, please look for me. My farm, if you intend to do AKMCC to be regional, and it's next year, please do a good proposal in advance before October. My farm will sponsor one team from Makerere and one team from Dar. So that we move from the AKMCC being a Kenyan business, but as Aman had said, the All African moot was conceived in the halls, in the lecture halls of University of Pretoria. AKMCC was conceived in the halls of Kenyatta University. Soon it will be a regional competition. So let's make it to be a regional competition. I will also implore my brothers from other mothers and fathers, Herman and Bush, to also like Emily, the way Kenya laws recommitted. You also recommit and you say you will take up two countries. You'll take up Rwanda and you'll take up Sudan. So that at the basic level, we are able to take care of their transport to and fro, their accommodation here. It's very important because that's usually what disturbs organizers. How do these people travel? Where do they stay? Who pays for their accommodation? At the basic minimum, I assume both our farms will spend $1 million, but I know that's petty change for Nob. I mean, you can pull it off. So I'm actually trying, I'm trying to make sure that they are actually sponsors and they do it very heavy. And also I was talking to my sister here. I was imploring her on behalf of the committee so that next year, Kenya Human Rights Commission increase their what? Their sponsorship. And I'm also reminded that the CEO already committed to increase the amount of money because it's very important. So other than that, I wish you all the best. Please do what you do best and don't do what? Drink and drive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mojave. Well, we have closing remarks, but then before that, we would like to cut cake and share so that we can all have, a piece of it. And then after that, we'll have the closing remarks and the announcement of the next AKMCC president. Faraj is in charge of this.
Check 1, 2. So yes, we are cutting the cake. The students, please be seated. Each one of us will get a piece of cake. Our judges, I hope you'll, join us in this. I hope the cake will be sweet and you guys will enjoy. I'd like to invite our bailiffs who have been very instrumental in ensuring we all eat. So Sada.
Hello, I'd like to thank you very much because such commitments are what keeps our love to your schools and ensure that when you leave, as we were told, don't leave. Someone said, don't go with moot. Leave moot where you are. So that next year and the years after, people are going to be able to be where you are and are proud because of what you've done. I have 3 things to say. The last 3 things before I hand over the mic. And the 3 are directed to the 3 categories of people who are here. So I'll begin with the students. Cindy Wakio was a student at Strathmore University not so long ago. Cindy passed on over a year ago, or almost a year ago. Cindy won the All Kenyan Moot Court competition when she was in first year, together with my good friend Roy Kitu. Wherever Cindy is right now, she's very happy to see that the competition has grown to a point that wherever she is, she's happy. When she looks down, and I believe she is, she's happy to see that where she was 4 or 5 years ago is where someone is standing right now and is able to represent as well as she did. So to all of you, remember, people will remember you for many things, but the impact that you leave in people's life, and this is directed to the students, the impact that you leave in people's life is what will matter. When Cindy passed on, everyone remembered one great thing, that Cindy had a good heart, and 2, Cindy was the greatest mooter that ever stepped foot at Strathmore University. So I'm challenged to all of you, work hard, and always remember that whatever you do on this earth is what is going to count after you've left. Next is to the people who are seated here and the sponsors. I'll give you a story of a bank in the UK known as First Direct Bank. Maybe you've heard of this story. First Direct Bank is one of the leading banks in the UK, of the fact that this is a bank in the UK and she was calling from the US. When she said what her plight was, the bank, in between the conversation, the bank was able to connect to her family, which was in the UK, and a friend who was in the US. And within that conversation and keeping her engaged, they were able to contact an ambulance that could be able to rescue that person immediately after that. The moral of this story is, if First Direct Bank had not heeded to the call of that lady, chances are she would have died. And my challenge is to you sponsors. This committee will stand not to know who is going to be the next president, but I'll also give you the last story. This is the story of a Kalasinga. Akalasinga, all of you know, I wouldn't say they don't believe in God, but I'd say they're not spiritual enough. But this Kalasinga was having a wedding, and the wedding was of the daughter, and they had no money at all, no money completely. 2 weeks to the wedding, the son tells the father, you know what, we don't have money, so we're going to cancel this wedding. But the father told him one thing: trust him. He used to look up and just say, trust him. 3 days to the wedding, they still didn't have money. 2 days, still didn't have money. 1 day, they still didn't have money. 5 hours to when the wedding was to happen, the son goes to the father and tells him, if you don't cancel this wedding, I'm going to cancel it myself. The father looks at him and says, trust him. Immediately finished saying that, a call comes through with somebody who owed the father $5 million. He pays the money immediately, and they're able to hold the wedding. What am I trying to say? The last minute, you might not be able to get the participants you want. You might not be able to get the money that you guys need. But trust him. Whoever him is, believe me, he'll provide. With those few remarks, I'd like to say thank you, all of you. God bless you, and God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you, Timothy. Well, we are pretty much on the last stretch of this closing ceremony. I am here on behalf of the AKMCC president of the 7th edition, Emmanuel Fwamba Barasa. Barasa is, for those of you who don't know him, he was here on Thursday, but for those of you who weren't here on Thursday, Barasa is a great man. He has led this committee with so much wisdom and, with so much, I don't even know what to say about Barasa. He's a great guy, and we have been, very privileged to work with and under him, and we give him credit for most of, what you're seeing today and what AKMCC 7th edition is. Barasa is in Kakuma for training, and that is why he was not, able to join us today. He would have really loved to be here. He, when I remember when he told me he didn't know what to do because he has to go to Kakuma on the Friday that the moot competition begins. He is in Kakuma for, human rights and, humanitarian and refugee work, and that is something that is very close to his heart. And he had to leave behind AKMCC, which, the 7th edition is his baby and something that is also very close to his heart. So you must, usually my absence has not been felt because of the teamwork and efficiency of the team I am privileged to lead. I have full confidence that my team did all within their power to make sure everything works out well during this competition. I took over from a man who is brilliant and understood planning, logistics, and public relations. His shoes, I'd say, were hard to fit in, and I do not even think that I did fit into them. He helped me put together a team for the AKMCC 7th edition 2019, which has planned for this event. If you think I have done anything great, I will tell you it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants. My leadership skills have been honed here at AKMCC. I have become a better human being because of AKMCC, and the value it's added to my life is immeasurable. Thank you for believing in potential. Timothy Thondu, I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the planning of AKMCC begins immediately the preceding edition ends. The committee meets and discusses the thematic area for the competition in view of a contemporary matter that will not only get financial support to materialize, but also contribute to the development and public discourse in that area. The committee sat and decided to go business and human rights this year, not just because of the contemporariness of the issue, but because of the necessity in our time to integrate human rights into business. And as the good Professor Githu Muigai mentioned on Thursday, businesses thrive when human rights is central to their operations. The balance sheet is more secure and investors have broader smiles to the bank. We decided to proceed the moot competition with a one-day conference on the thematic area to give an opportunity to the students and practitioners who are not participating in the moot to be involved in this academic discourse. And I am proud to note that our vision was accomplished and the team I am honored to lead gave its best and delivered as expected. It is my hope that you enjoyed being part of AKMCC 2019 and eager to participate in AKMCC 2020, whose organization will start soon, and I have full confidence that the team is well prepared for the task and have necessary will to exceed the standards set by AKMCC 2018 and I hope AKMCC 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be a shame for me to forget to mention the valuable contribution of specific individuals who directly supported the conference and moot competition. Ms. Aki Nasanga from KHRC, who first recommended the theme to us, and the team went to further research and put together a concept note to make the competition a reality. Dr. Kabata for helping us get the panelists, and Mr. Bata Emanuel from the Department of Justice for helping us proofread, redraft, and balance the moot question. As mentioned earlier, while I was head of the committee, the brains, ingenuity, will, and sacrifice of the 14-member organizing committee made this happen. These individuals have reached out to people, spent sleepless nights, and carried the burden of delivering this competition for a year now. To you, Janet Njambi Masharia, Beatrice Wanjiku Ngunyi, in absentia, Abigail Nasimiu Namasaka, Nicole Koske, Suheila Abdul Faraj, Michael Kenywan Joki, Rabin Albert, Kingori Prince, Bill Hasidi Wangu, Brian Bright and Rispa Kamala Odanga, Milton Duro and Viola Nyaboke, I thank you. You have the heart of a grateful president. To the alumni AKMCC who have spared time to be here with us throughout the 3 days, thank you and may the good Lord bless you. To the teams, thank you for honoring our invitation to participate in the 7th edition of the AKMCC. I hope it has been a wonderful learning experience, and this has built your legal mind, and I dare say participation in this moot cannot leave you the same. I believe your research skills, advocacy skills, and thought processing has been refined in the competition, and your future can only be brighter. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not forget to thank the judges of the moot competition in the research category who have sacrificed their time and booked their diaries to be here for 3 days from Thursday. I also wish to extend my appreciation to the partners and sponsors of the 7th edition of the AKMCC who have partnered and supported us to make both the conference and moot competition a reality. In this regard, I extend my appreciation to Embassy of Switzerland in Kenya, Talo Oil, Kenya Human Rights Commission, Kaplan Stratton, Kenya Law, International Justice Mission, Ngeri Omiti and Bush Advocates, Business and Human Rights Resource Center, UN High Commissioner on Human Rights in Nairobi, the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice, and the Kenyatta University Students Association. Asanteni sana. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, whatever has a beginning has an end. I have been part of the committee from the first week of law school, climaxing my time in law school with being president. It has been an honor serving as the president of the 7th edition AKMCC 2019. It felt great being called president, but that seems to end today because it's time to pass the baton to another person. But I wouldn't mind being called president in the streets of Kusol and Nairobi or whenever else we will meet. It is now my singular honor and pleasure to announce the next president of AKMCC 2020. A person with great will and brilliance and bears the necessary tenacity to bring AKMCC 2020 home. Miss Abigail Namasaka. Miss Abigail Namasaka, who will be assisted by Prince Kingori as the student coordinator. To our partners, I will make the same rallying call that my predecessor made. Allow her a seat and offer her juice, if you may, when she knocks at your doors to ask for partnership and money, because AKMCC can only be greater. To everyone who is here today, thank you for coming to Kusol and participating in AKMCC 2019. I apologize on my own behalf and that of my committee for any mishaps and delays experienced during the 3 days that you have been here with us. I am very sorry. We will be very pleased to get feedback on the competition. Please fill out the feedback form. We will send to you in due course. From the President, AKMCC 2019, Asanteni sana, and may the good Lord bless you as you leave for your various destinations. Bye and see you soon.
Yes, I honestly don't know what to say. As you've heard, my name is Abigail Lamasaka. For the 7th edition, I have been the Deputy Student Coordinator, basically. I've been ensuring that all of you eat. And I am certain that all of you ate. And if you did not eat, I am sorry. Yes. I'm really honored to be standing here before you. I'd really like to thank the committee members that we have worked with. It has been a 3-day long journey. It has been really tiring, but God's grace has been sufficient. AKMCC this year, this edition has been good, but we believe that the 8th edition will be better. We will go higher. We will take it a notch higher. Right now, I may be standing before you looking quite confident, but inside I am quite anxious because my question is, where will we get the sponsors? Will the participants come next year? I have so many questions running through my head, but I know God's grace is sufficient. I want to say praise God, but but yes, and I'm truly honored, and I just pray that as Timothy has encouraged our sponsors to help us, reach out to more sponsors and even support us in the 8th edition, my prayer is that you may actually do that for us, because we cannot be here, we cannot continue running these editions without you. And I'm truly grateful. I don't want to say much. I think I'll just keep on rambling and rambling and rambling. But at the end of this, as I pass on my, the role I've been handling to Prince Kingori, I'd like to invite all of you for a cup of tea at the end of this, so that, as we wind up all this, yes. And I'd like to invite all of us to stand up for the national anthem. I may not have a very beautiful voice, but you may bear with me. Yes. Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Thank you so much. You may remain standing. I'd like to do the closing prayers even as we go for tea and continue eating cake as we celebrate the 7th edition. Let's pray. Father Almighty, we come before you this evening. We're truly grateful, God, for the AKMCC 7th edition, that you have been with us, God. Indeed, it is by your grace that we are here, O God, and we just want to return all the praise and honor back to your holy name, O God. We pray, Jesus, that you may bless us, God, even as we depart from this place. May you be with us, God. We pray, God, even for the 8th edition, Jehovah God, that it may continue being better, oh God, and even the subsequent editions, my Father. And God, even as we go to take that cup of tea, cup of juice, God, we pray that you may bless it, oh God. And until we meet again, God, I pray that you may take care of all of us, oh God. We bless your name and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you so much. Unless there's anything else, thank you.